What have we got going on here? All right, everybody. I look a little bit frazzled and discombobulated, but that's because it's been a very hectic morning. And I'm just so excited to see you. I just have to put on my lucky bracelet here and my memorabilia, which allows me to stay in touch with all of the things that meant so much to me and still do. And I think this is part of what's going on when we hit the wall, which is the subject of our video today. So just give me 1 second while I get these on my wrist. You know how before games, professional athletes have all these superstitious things they do? Well, it's not a superstition with me, it's fondness. Now then, cheers. Good morning, Eddie. Good morning. Good morning. It's wonderful to see you. Happy anniversary. Well done, you two. Cheers. Oh, okay. So for those of you just joining me, just stumbling on this, my name is Abby Hagyard. And long ago and far away in the distant past, there was a television series on Nickelodeon called You Can't Do That on Television. And all those children, their lives, their thoughts, their mindsets were shaped by dad and mom. I'm so sorry, really, I'm so sorry. And then there were Care Bears, and then there was Teddy Ruxpin, and then there was For Better or For Worse, and then there was Dennis the Menace, and then we're all, you see what I'm saying, right? It was a busy time. So what have we got going on here? Day to night. So you're welcome. You're welcome. My goodness. Milestones are important. Milestones are important because not only do they tell us where we are, they remind us where we've been and how we got here every step of the way. So I think it's important. That's why I celebrate birthday month instead of birthday day. So what I want to share with you today is a thing that keeps happening, and I don't know why it keeps happening. And all right, well, hello, hello, Mr. Bell. So the conversation today is this thing that happens all the time when somebody suddenly looks at you and says, "What do you mean? What did I mean?" Because the person answering, questioning, what? Assumed they were perfectly clear, assumed that everything made perfect sense, assumed that everything, oh, just hang on 1 second. There. I think that helps. Did that help? I hope it helped. Assumed that everything was normal. And what isn't normal is where we all are in each and every moment, that we're all spinning in our little gyroscopes, and we're all occasionally bumping into each other. Oh, hello, how have you been? Mostly though, it's like trying to line up, organize, and name fireflies. And we don't realize it, partly because we are one of the fireflies and we're busy and we're doing stuff. But over and over and over again, I'm hearing it more and more often. What do you mean? What did I mean? What do you think I meant? Is not helpful. It's a panic reaction. It's a wait a minute. I thought I was safe. I thought you knew me. I thought you could see me. I thought you could hear me. I thought we understood each other. And the answer quite often is, well, of course we do. I just didn't hear you. I was facing the wrong way. I realized that my sock was falling down inside my shoe. And so I'm sorry, I wasn't fully present when you said, hello. And now, today, more than ever, what we all need, and I need implies lack. And I don't like to have conversations in that place. What I'm saying instead of need, what we are all missing, what we have misplaced, what we have in our busyness to do 6 more things, is we have forgotten the time it takes to get in sync, to make sure the gears are aligned, that we are on the same page. tuned in to the same channel. We forget that. And in that process, we do a disservice to ourselves first, because we're always with us, and to everyone else who's trying to tune in, who's trying to be in our circle, in our frequency, in our niche. And so how do we fix that? Well, the conversation today is exactly that. How do we fix that? And the first thing we do is we take a step back. We cannot we make an error in assuming if I push harder, if I lean in further, if I exert as much control as I can, I'll be fine. And it's actually the exact opposite. I am guilty of it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans of all shapes and sizes, I am the person who leans in. I am the person who is at the front of the boat. I am the one running alongside the car, urging more speed. It's my nature, and it's what my override overdrives me. And I have the opportunity every time I see it to take a pause, to take a breath, and remember that just because my childhood was framed by, I have no idea how long we're going to be here, doesn't mean that's the way the world works. It was simply the way my small experience was driven. So one of my conversations with myself every day is stop, breathe. We got this. We are safe. And I do that every day. I do it every day before I lean in. I do it every day halfway through. And I do it certainly by the time I'm going to bed. So what is so important for us now, and I'm saying now, it's the 4th of November. What is so important for us now is that every day is our day, this one included. It's not, what I'm going to start tomorrow. It's not, I'm going to begin at the beginning of the week. I'm going to start after supper. No, the time to start is now. Here we are. We're right here. Good morning, Freddie. This is the first election that you haven't worked. Freddie, wow. I hope everything's okay where you are. You let me know, okay? So what we're going to talk about today is this. What is it that we want people to know about us, about our priorities, about our plan, about our passion, about our purpose, about our direction, our goals? What is it that we want people to know that helps them, empowers them, makes it easier for them to feel like we got this? What is it we can do to remind ourselves and each other that life is not a spectator sport? We're all in it together. Even this, what is wonderful about this platform, and by the way, Billy's the one who put me onto it. Thank you, honey. This is an opportunity for me to broadcast, to simulcast, stream on several platforms. And there is a feature where you can type in something you're thinking, your hello, your did you know? And because the things come up, I can see them and I can respond. So you're not spectating. We're managing somehow to override the limitations of virtual and vicarious to make it work for thee and me, no matter how far away we might be. We don't have to be in the same room to make this work. We have to just navigate the technology. And as Billy will be the first to tell you, I am the slowest learner on the planet, but keen. Oh my gosh, keen. I get full points for keen. So one sip before we head on? Oh, Eddie, stop and breathe, paramount, even if it's just for a second. Eddie and I had a journey together this year when he was facing all kinds of confusion and in his career, which then, of course, spilled over into everything else. And when I was able to show him how the tools work, because you can't just buy the book of instructions, put it on the shelf, you got to actually open it and figure them out. What finally came to Eddie was the process and the specific recipe details, the nuances that he added that work for him. Stay true to the concept and then, put on your spin. And so in this new career path that he's on, the lucky people who chose him, the lucky people who work with him are gaining the benefit of Eddie's learning curve this year, of Eddie's grasp and practice and polish of the tools. So the ripple effects spread far and wide, don't they, my friend? I'm so happy for you and happy for your moment, your celebration. My gosh. So when somebody looks at us in two frames of mind, one is confusion and the other is disappointment. And we can see that, feel that, hear that, sense that. It's a moment that somehow something happened that we didn't intend. I thought I was clear. Apparently, I wasn't. I thought I was clear enough for me. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. There's the flaw in the strategy, right? It's clear enough for us, but that's because we have all the backstory. We have all the context. We know that our sock has fallen down in our shoe. We know that we accidentally stepped on a pebble and it got in there too. It's not clear to everyone else unless we tell them. It's not clear to everyone else why we would say the things we say unless we tell them, unless we give them context. So this is not tell my life story at the drop of every hat. This is making sure that we're both in the same space, in the same moment, aligned in our purpose. I'm going to say it again. In the same space, in the same moment, aligned with our purpose. And I would love to have you picture for me parallel parking a car, parallel parking a boat, parallel parking something that you're sitting in as opposed to on the outside. We have three things that we're navigating. We are navigating the space provided, the space that's available. It's this big. We are navigating our little vehicle to get it into that space provided. And we are also looking that way, out that mirror. We're heading in this way. We're looking out that mirror because there is traffic behind us. And we're looking this way because there is traffic ahead of us. And they don't know. This is why we put on signal blinkers. It's why we have them. It's why there are brake lights on the car. It's why there are hazard lights on the car. Because the other people sharing the road, the other people sharing the walk, the load, can't automatically see and hear and grasp what's going on in our head. Oh, why didn't you signal? Well, I thought it was perfectly clear. Clearly not. So when we're getting ready to navigate a shift, it's important for our success and our smooth transition to let everyone else know what's going on. It's for our benefit and theirs. It's for our ease of transition and theirs to make sure we're on the same page, to make sure we're facing in the same direction, to make sure we understand the bigger picture than simply us. Great little cartoon that I used on the Facebook page to announce this morning's talk is a Viking, full regalia, large Viking, holding in his hand the tiniest martini stem glass with the tiniest pink umbrella in it you have ever seen. And the look on his face, he has one eyebrow raised, and it's this. Because in which parallel universe would it occur to any bartender that a man of that size and girth and power would want something as teeny weeny ridiculous? In any world, in any time, in any realm. Clearly, the message was not transmitted. Now, does it help that the bartender had just made 17 of those teeny martinis for 17 previous teeny glorious people? No, doesn't help the Viking who wanted to quench a Viking-sized thirst. So who was not paying attention? They both were. Had the Vikings said, "I've just come back from conquering the known world, and I have a thirst the size of the galaxy," as opposed to "bring me something exotic," the bartender could have said, "Be right with you, sir. I'm just cleaning up after 15 showgirls, 17 showgirls wanted a martini." Everybody would be on the same page then. Why aren't we doing that? And the answer, I think, after much observation, is that we have forgotten the art of conversation. We have forgot the original purpose of telling each other who we are. So the interesting thing about my ancestors who were Vikings is that they were known for several things that people smile and blink at. Of course, they were known for pillaging and raiding and all that, and fighting and exploring the new world. What is forgotten is that they were navigators. What is forgotten is that they were storytellers. What is forgotten is that they were shipbuilders. What is forgotten is that they had an unquenchable thirst to see the world. What is forgotten is they were fishermen of Olympic caliber. All those things are set aside because fame will do that. Fame renders everybody two-dimensional. You see them, you see the biggest thing you remember, and clear enough for me is our own filter. Absolutely, Eddie. Absolutely. Hello, you are actively participating in live. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And look at what time it is. I think you set your clock way, way different from your normal, Mr. Bill. Context is everything, says Freddie. Who knows? And confusion and a disappointment are just soul destroying, says Bill. And all of us have our finger on the pulse right there. So why is it and how is it that we forget the important details? Because fame has a way of doing that. Fame has a way of rendering us two-dimensional. How is that? Because we see the big thing, and the big thing eclipses everything else. We see this, and when we see this, it's really difficult to notice what else is going on. When all that's going on is this, it's really difficult to say, "Oh my God, is that new nail polish?" It's difficult. Why? Because we forget. We forget how important it is to us when people step up and say, I see you and you matter to me, we forget how wonderful that feels and wonder why people aren't doing it. We forget that we need to practice every day, all the time. Why? Because in the middle of the night, when we got up for some unknown reason, and we walked across the living room floor, and we stepped across, on top of, around, and through a piece of Lego that was trying to make a break for the door, and we connected with the unyielding leg of an end table in between our fourth and fifth toe. So in that moment, the subtle niceties of going along to get along and connecting and caring about our fellow human beings is shunted aside for however long, nevertheless, shunted aside. So how are we going to reset this very small glitch? How are we going to do that before it becomes so big we can't fix it? How do we do it? Well, I've gone through these questions before, and I was talking with my fabulous new coaching client last night. And coaching client, you ask? Why, yes, success and resilience, Pivotry in motion. I warned you, I said it was coming in November, and here it is. So I was talking to my client, and I said, we hit walls. And every time we do, every time we manage to wedge an end table between our fourth and fifth toe, every time we step on a Lego in the dark and suddenly see Cleveland, we forget that our internal monologue, our internal loop tape hits pause. Because, by the way, we're busy dancing up and down and screaming. And when that moment has passed, the first thing that we say after we unclench our teeth is, what was I doing? Where was I? What is the point of all this? And it happens to all of us every time, all the time. And in that moment of forgetting, we don't realize that the things we have said, oh, believe me, I'll never forget it, is out the window. Many years ago, when the bottom fell out of the live performing in front of, hit a wall and fell down. In show business, there are all the shows all the time, and then the shows close all the time at once. And everybody stands around going, hello, hello, is anybody there? And we have to reset, we have to rethink, we have to revise, and we have to get started again. And if we didn't write down how we did it, and that was a long time ago, we hit a snag. And so one of the first rules in the Pivotry process, in the mindset reset process, is to make sure our now what strategies are kept someplace safe. All we need to do then is look and say, oh, of course, of course. While we're madly scrambling, while we're lost in translation, while we are disoriented and reorienting, all the people who count on us, all the people who are still in momentum, are left hanging. And we end up saying, what do you mean? What did I mean? And we go from connection and safety to, as we're all saying, confusion and disappointment and disorientation. Now, I'm a military kid. What that means, as with any profession that parents have that causes frequent travel, frequent change, the child is along for the ride. The child who went to school that day comes home and finds boxes filling the living room, suddenly knows tomorrow will not be the same as today. And it is a sudden and fast recalibration going on. Confusing, disorienting, disappointing, frustrating. Our levels of stress rise. Our levels of joy diminish. We don't breathe well. We don't sleep well. We don't eat well. And we are short with each other. And we end up making silly mistakes we have no business making. And those things have nothing to do with the sudden move. They are what is called collateral damage. And my goal, primary goal, with the whole concept of pivotry in motion, which is mindset reset in order to change, in order to go on the best new path. My goal is to give you the tools and the confidence to step into that change, to own it, and make it work for you. That's the whole point, to give you back your ownership of the things that are meant for you. Because while you're busy and you have ownership of all the things that are meant for you, you don't have time for all the other stuff. You don't have time for that toxic baggage. You don't have time for the cheese doodle people. You got stuff going on. And the people who care, the people who love us, the people who want to be part of every new moment, we want to minimize the number of times we hear ourselves and them saying, "What do you mean? What did I mean?" We want to maximize the number of times people say, "I love that. Let's give me a hug." That's where we're going. That's where we're aiming. So I have these questions and I wrote them down. And I write them down. I got this notepad. I found it online and I thought, you know what? I'm going to buy a few of these. It's a mini to-do, right? Mini to-do, and it's got a little checkbox thing on the side. And it's just like today. It's just for today, just these few things. And so what I do is every day at the top of the page, I write down the 5 questions. I rewrite them every day by hand. I know, we can do it electronically, digitally. But something happens in our brain, in our memory, in our soul, when we do it by hand, when we get our weapon of mass construction and we bring it from our head, from our heart onto the page. In that transmission, it's fully anchored. It's fully part of us. It's fully ingrained in our blueprint and our brand, and eventually in our DNA. So here they are. Now remember, our purpose today is to override. What do you mean? What did I mean? There are always 2 people and a situation in every connection and every exchange. Now there may be multiples of each people, and it may not always be human, but there's a me and a thee. And the situation is we. And that never, ever changes. Ever. Did I say ever? Did I say never? How we navigate uncharted waters, how we survive the unexpected waves, is a function of how closely we align, how closely we connect, how deeply we engage, because none of us is an island. And of all the species, we are the most in need of our tribe. And our tribe, for instance, today is us here on this video on ABCAST 407. Yes, that is where our brains go after we step on a Lego. Yes. The brain immediately goes to Cleveland and says, what? And then has to catch the next flight back. That's exactly it. So here are the questions. You ready? Big setup, big setup. Here's the questions. Ready? What do you want? So on your page, you're going to write, what do I want? What do I want today? What do I want now? What do I want in this moment? Why do I want it? Why do I want it? What is the context? What comes before and what comes after that gives me this purpose, this drive, this passion, right? What do I want? Why do I want it? Who does it serve? Who does it serve is really important. And I'm going to come back to it as soon as we go through all three, all five. Okay? I'm going to come back to it because it's huge. What does it change? So, what do I want? Why do I want it? Who does it serve? What does it change? The part of that sentence, so do a dash after what does it change? And add, what does it keep the same? What does it change? What does it keep the same? All right. That's also hugely important, and I'll talk about that. Next question. Why do they care? If I've answered, why do I want it? That's why I care. The next question is, why do they care? Why are we asking that question? Because there are always three elements in every moment. Me, thee, we. We need to know why they care. What do I want? Why do I want it? Who does it serve? What does it change? Why do they care? We've already discussed, what do I want? We've already discussed, why do I want it? Now let's talk about who does it serve? Who does it serve? Whose life, whose scenario, whose situation does it in any way empower, improve, inspire, control, serve? Who is the recipient? What is the end game? And the fourth question, what does it change or keep the same? Now, the reason this is incredibly important is this. Once upon a time, somebody told us a story about who we are, about where we came from, about our tribe, what it represents, what we are known for, what people like us do in moments like this. Every single one of us has that story. And every single one of us has done our best to either pretzel ourselves inside it or do our best to avoid it. Whether we avoid it or follow it, it still defines us. It gives us our starting point, our north, our magnetic north, with which we can then navigate our way through life. Now, every single client I have ever worked with, an almost immediate question is, whose story is it? Whose story is your origin story? If it's your origin story, if you go around saying, people like us, I'm the kind of person who, that would make it your origin story. Granted, legends and ancestors. In this moment, though, your origin story. That means if it's your story, you hold the pen. You own your weapon of mass construction. If it's your story and you hold the pen, then you can rewrite it. You can update it. You can say once upon a time, and then the next day, and you can change it. It doesn't mean that you negate the first edition. This is the new edition. This is episode 2. This is book 2. This is volume 2. And it's all about you. It's all about the person you are now and the passions you have now, the purpose you have now, the tools, the strategies, the goals you have now. Not back then. That version of you has had a promotion. That version of you, granted, no longer fits in that cute jacket you wore in 8th grade, but that's okay. You should see the one I'm wearing now. The version of you, front and center, fully present, has the power to reset the plan, to look at the way we're looking at and say, yeah, I don't think so. Not again. And change it. And this moment that hits us, right, leading right up to it, we have been saying quietly, well, it's not that bad. I don't mind. The shoes only pinch a little. Besides, I've always loved wearing a size 2. Except that your correct size isn't a 2 anymore. You haven't worn a 2 since you were 2. Get over it. Because everything, every possible thing is waiting for you. It's right there. Wondering when you're coming. And you can't move forward until you choose that it matters more than anything. Now, the second part of the question, what does it change or keep the same? And the reason why we want to know what it might keep the same is a strange thing that our subconscious brain does. It's all about survival. It's all about keeping you safe. And for that very primitive brain, familiar is safe. If it ain't broke, why are we fixing it? And it would rather you do the thing that you did than change. So sometimes the story that makes us helpless, sometimes the story that keeps us stuck is giving us permission to give up, is giving us permission to stay stuck, is giving us permission to not engage, to stay sitting in the car parked with the engine off, or in mud, stuck, revving the engine and going nowhere. Because some part of our brain says, better to be safe than sorry. But sorry isn't a given. Sorry is just one of the many options. And for those of us who are stuck in that place, stuck, concerned, fearful, exhausted, overwhelmed, I'm going to tell you something that occurred to me. Blinding flash a few years ago. I wrote it down so I would never forget it. And excuse me, I just have to make sure that that's just one of those little scammy calls. Change is only hard when we didn't think of it. I'll say it again so the ringing doesn't interrupt me. Change is only hard for us when we didn't think of it, when it was imposed on us, when it thrust itself out of the bushes and said, boo. Change is only hard when we aren't ready. Change is only hard when we are still in reluctance gear, resistance gear, before the recognition, before the aha, before the Milo moment that says, okay then, check please, let's do this. In that massive, infinitesimally small blink, when we shift from I'm not sure to I'll race you, the entire world takes on a different meaning, a different shade, a different temperature. And my purpose with this whole concept, Pivotry in motion, change your mind to change your place, is to be your guide. I found my way through it roughly 1,147 billion times. I'm getting good at it. I know where the stones across the pond are. I know where it's safe to rest. I know where it's excellent to hide. I know when it's time to say, that was wonderful. That was amazing. And draw a heart-shaped line in the sand and say, I will never forget. And now I'm moving on. And I thank you and I will love you from afar. What do you mean? What did I mean? I'm sorry. I was thinking you were in my head with me. I'll start again. Is the easy way back from that dilemma, is the easy way to calm everyone down and get us back to where we're meant to be. I have something extraordinary happening on November 16th. I'm launching. We're launching. The boats are being readied. The Vikings are on the dock doing their calisthenics. I'm launching the books. I'm launching the most amazing, teary-eyed, I'm launching the most amazing speakers group, elite success and resilience speakers who found a way and want to share it. I'm launching the coaching and the training that we all need. And I'm giving you a taste of my new one-woman show that talks about all the ways and all the days we look at what we used to be and we smile and say, yes, but not with you. We have better things to do. That's what's happening on the 16th. For those of you who are in Ottawa, you'll be getting notices and invitations to this amazing party. I haven't had one in a while. And every single one of those has been crazy and fun and fabulous. And this one will be too. And for those of you who aren't in Ottawa, we're going to figure out this afternoon how we can possibly make it live, make it streamed. So you'll all be there with us. And I can't wait. Can you? All right. A little shorter than usual. How about that? Maybe I'm learning. I'm going to see you on Thursday and let you know the updates. By the way, it's not one book that I'm launching. It's not two. It's more. And that will be for another day. I just have so much more to tell you. So between now and then, you know the drill. Be good to you. You deserve it. Remember to hug your loved ones. They deserve it too. None of this is possible without you. You are the glue. You are the reason. Never forget it. Thank you so much for watching.